What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played, Newcastle at home, guys. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into today's video. So we made two changes from the last game against West Brom, talking about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Fred, Matic, James, Fernandes, Rashford and Martial. Getting into the overall reaction now, Man United eased past Newcastle, back to winning ways. We needed that. That was massive 3 points. Individual brilliance won us the game. Ollie got lucky last night. We didn't really create a lot of chances, but we took them. After once we scored the second goal, we looked better. We got lucky last night. Tactically, we got away with it. Any other day, we would have lost. I'll tell you that any day of the week. Performance was good, but it wasn't the real Man United. Well done, boys. We only just about deserved the win. Up the fucking Reds. Win done. And 3 points done. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into today's video. What did I make of the performance? It was one of those games overall. I think it was one of those performances where we didn't deserve to win, but it was one of them where we won the game. We didn't deserve to win it, but at the end of the day, we got lucky. We tactically got lucky last night as well. I think as Man United fans, we'll be all reflecting back the next day on Monday, saying we got away with it last night against Newcastle. If it was any other big game, like if you look at like an informed Man City, we could have easily got turned right over from start to finish if that was Man City. But because we were playing Newcastle, I think we got away with it because they're poor at the minute as well themselves. It was one of those performances where, you know, it wasn't a great performance by the players overall. But like I said then, it was like, you know, it was one of those performances where it was good. It was a good performance overall, but it wasn't the real Man United that we didn't really see. Didn't really start the game on the front foot. We didn't start the game with energy, high intensity, high tempo. And it's a big ask, and it's a big question to ask as well when you go and play, when you've already just played on Thursday night as well. You know, some of those players would have started. So some of those players that started on Thursday, you know, they would have been a bit tired. Obviously, we looked lethargic as well in the first half, looked tired. Good thing is though, thank God for that, we were not fatigued as well. But this is it, getting back to use the Thursday nights. It's not good for us, but this is it now. It's rest and rotation, really. It was one of those performances where from start to finish, we didn't really start the game well, but we ended the game well. That's what it's all about, and it was not a pretty performance. I think we sort of made it difficult for ourselves in the first half. Second half, I thought we looked better, but I'll get into that in a minute. But overall, I think we were lucky to come away with that and say, you know, we won the game really well. 3-1, obviously, when you look at the scoreline. I think tactically we got away with it, and obviously, like I said, you know, any other day we would have lost the game. And that was because of the opponents that we were playing. But it's good that we're back to winning ways now in the Premier League. Obviously, we've been struggling the last recent weeks to find our next win. We've got that now, and hopefully now we can build on that now as well. Like I said, you know, we needed that. It was massive 3 points as well when you look at the table. Obviously, teams around us once again dropping points. Liverpool, Tottenham again. Nice to capitalise again and say we've got 3 points. We move on to the next game. But it's nice that, you know, teams around us are dropping points. We get the win. 9-point lead now on Liverpool. Liverpool will be looking at their fixture list saying, where's our next win coming as well? But like I said, good performance, but it wasn't the real Man United. It was one of them where we got away with it. At the end of the day, you take it any day of the week. A win is a win at the end of the day. Getting into the game now for first half. Thought we started the game slow. I think the first 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, I think it was all them, to be honest. I think they had a better start. They looked bright, they looked sharp on the front foot. They play with intensity, tempo. We were on the back foot. I think defensively we were. I think defensively we were good. You know, we stayed compact, kept it tight, made it difficult for them as well. I think they had a few good chances on goal as well. And I think, you know, when we sort of got ourselves back into the game, into the first half, I thought, you know, we didn't really create a lot of chances. And the reason being is that because of injuries that we've got now as well. Donny van der Beek's out injured. Obviously, he's, you know, can give us some creativity as well with being a box-to-box player. Obviously, McTominay being out injured as well. Pogba being out injured as well. So it doesn't really help us that we've got three midfielders out injured and that can give us creativity. So they're all out injured at the minute. So we were stuck with Matic and Fred. And if you ask me, they don't really create much. And I think the player that you were relying on last night for the creativity was Bruno Fernandes. I think that was the only creative player that we had, because the two players behind him like Matic and Fred don't really create much. Matic is, as a CDM, he won't create much. Maybe Fred, he might offer a little bit to the team, but he's not one of those players where he can create much either. So it was one of those it was a team what we put out last night that looked like we didn't have a lot of creativity in us, and it showed it as well, because we didn't have a lot of creativity in the game. In the first half especially, we didn't really have many clear-cut chances, but again, when you get these chances, it's all about you got to take them, and I thought we did that brilliantly well. We executed it, we got the goals that we needed, we scored on the goals that we needed, and we took our chances at crucial moments as well in the game. And it's fantastic, because obviously, we didn't really create a lot of chances in the game, but the good thing is we took them and we scored on them, which is satisfying as well, because obviously we struggle on that as well ourselves. And but it's nice to see Rashford obviously getting a goal back. It's obviously nice to see Rashford on the score sheet. So yeah, it's always good. And then I thought, as we got in the lead, as we got ahead, I think Newcastle would have been scratching their heads thinking we don't deserve to go 1-0 down, because I think Newcastle were the better team in the first half. They were all around us, and then they responded really well. 6 minutes later, we conceded a stupid goal. Once again, social distancing to its best, not closing down players. You had Maguire staring at the player, Lindelof as well, Fred not closing down, Matic not closing down, and not one of them closed down St. Maximin. So it's disappointing that we're not, closing down players once again. And I'm jumping on here again saying, start closing down the fucking player, and don't let them have time and space on the ball, and don't give them any time to bloody shoot as well. And we stood off them, social distancing at its best, and we're not closing the player down. It's just not good enough, and that's why we could have easily once again prevented that goal if we would have closed him down and stopped giving players time and space on the ball. We do it time and time again, and we always do it. We invite them, and we always give them too much time and too much space on the ball, and we never close them down. And that's how they get the goal, and that's how they get the shot off. And then people go on to blame De Gea. Not De Gea's fault. It's the defenders not closing the player down. And both Lindelof and Maguire were stood off him, not closing him down. It's just not good enough once again. And then I think in the second half we came out really good. I think it was a good response. I thought we got in around their box, and then I think that's where we saw the intensity, the tempo. We're on the front foot. Didn't really create a lot of clear-cut chances once again, though, did we? And then obviously when we put them under pressure, when it came to these big moments in the game and these crucial moments in the game where we had these chances, it's all about take them once again. And obviously when we had James, and when James had time and space on the ball, gets the shot off, 2-1, lovely. Then you're thinking at 2-1, you want to bring on a few substitutions, change it up a little bit, and go and kill off the game, and go and get another goal. And that's what we did. We didn't really bring on the substitutions around that time, but then we put the game to bed, 3-1. And it's one of them where, I think at the end of the day, the boys deserve the phrase, well done boys. It was one of them where we didn't really deserve it, but we got the win, and all that matters is the win and the 3 points, and it was massive, the 3 points yesterday. And it's a massive win, because obviously teams around us were dropping points, and we're taking a step forward again. So it's nice to see that once again. Not the performance that we were after, but we got the job done in the end. It was a slow start, but then in the second half we looked better once after we scored the second goal, and it's nice to get back to winning ways. Yeah, it's always nice to get back to winning ways. I think once we've been struggling the last recent weeks, we needed to get back to winning ways, and we've looked at the likes of Sheffield to go and win that game, drop 3 points there. Obviously last week we went to West Brom, we dropped more points there as well, so we've already dropped 5 points already. But again, when you look at these fixtures, Sheffield United, West Brom, and if we would have won those 2 games and won last night, we would be 15 points in front of Liverpool easy, but we've made it tough for ourselves in those type of games, and we're always in these situations where killing these teams off, and we're not at that level yet. That's what we need to do next season. You look at that performance last night, it was not the performance that we were after, it was not the performance that we're looking forward to, but it was not one of those performances where it was not a convincing win. But in these sort of type of games where you don't really perform to your best, but at the end of the day you still get the job done, you get the win, you get the 3 points, you just say, I'll take that any day of the week. I'll definitely take it any day of the week, because even though you perform crap, you can still get the win and you can still get the 3 points. I think at the end of the day, it was one of them where we deserved it in the end after the work and the effort that we put in. But at the same time, if you look at how we performed, any other day we could have lost that. At the end of the day, it was one of them where we got lucky last night. You're not always going to get lucky nights like that last night against Newcastle. Because it's Newcastle, we got away with it because they're shit themselves. But if it was an informed Man City, we would have absolutely got spanked last night because we had no creativity in that team whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it's nice to get the job done. It's nice to get the win. It's nice to get the 3 points. And obviously, it's nice to get back to winning ways, which is much needed as well. After the last recent weeks, we've struggled for form. And hopefully, keep our heads up now and say, let's get back on a good run of form now, because we've got some tough games ourselves coming up now as well. Keep our heads up and we keep grinding. Just take it one game at a time now. Take it one game at a time, and you never know at the end of the day. After our win against Real Sociedad and now Newcastle, we have something to build onto now. Can we keep this up and keep this run going with games coming up thick and fast? Of course we can keep this up. I mean, it's just all about motivation from these players, and it's all about you have to perform well week in and week out, game in and game out. You have to go into every single game with the right mentality, the right mindset. You've always got to prepare well for games as well. And of course we can keep this up. Of course we can keep this run going as well, because we're sort of hitting a little bit of good form now. Won against Real Sociedad, good win there, nice 4-0 win. We beat Newcastle last night, 3-1, nice and easy. And let's step up now this week. Big week, Real Sociedad now in the week, Chelsea on the weekend. These are 2 games that we've got to look forward to now, and of course we can keep this run going. Of course we can keep this up now. I'll tell you what now, let's get back to some consistency as well. We need that consistency in the team because we've been inconsistent in the last few weeks, losing, drawing, winning. Let's get some consistency back going now as well in this team. Let's build onto it now. Take it one game at a time. Don't get too carried away in games now, and let's go in every single game with the right mentality and the right mindset. And if we do that, you'll win every single fucking game that you come up against. Honestly, you do. Who is my man of the match? I think this one's going to surprise you, actually, to be honest. I think, De Gea saved us in that game. I think he had a good game, De Gea. I think Wan-Bissaka had an alright game, but not a great game. Lindelof, Maguire. I think Maguire had a good game as well. Lindelof, not so good game. I thought Shaw had a good game. Matic was alright. Fred was alright, I guess. James had a good game. Fernandes had a good game. Rashford had a good game. Martial, again, just piss poor once again at the top again. Just needs to be told to get his shooting boots back on. He was involved in all 3 goals, to be honest, and he contributed. I'm going to give it Marcus Rashford only just because he was the one that won us the game, to be honest, and it was down to individual brilliance because of Marcus Rashford. And if it wasn't for Marcus Rashford, he would be my man of the match. Yeah, my man of the match has to be Marcus Rashford, because he scored the first goal. I think he got the assist as well for the second goal, and he helped out in the third goal by going down, taking the penalty. Bruno got the assist for Dan James, but obviously Bruno got a goal and assist. But I'm going to give it Rashford because he got a goal and he sort of helped out in the third goal as well and in the second goal as well once again. So I'm going to give it Marcus Rashford. He deserves it. How do we beat Chelsea? Now obviously Chelsea have got a change in management now. Obviously, as we all know, Frank Lampard got sacked nearly 2 months ago now. Obviously, who came in? It was Thomas Tuchel. Obviously now Chelsea, this team now, Tuchel's come in and he's sort of got Chelsea back to winning ways. He's got them climbing up the table now. They're just outside the top 4 now, hunting for, and they'll be hoping to get top 4 this season as well. They've improved under Tuchel, don't get me wrong, Chelsea. I think Chelsea, they've gone on a good run of form. I think they could have lost against Southampton and they were lucky to get away with that as well, not to lose that game. I watched Chelsea the other night against Southampton. I thought Chelsea were poor in that game. Just basics let them down. They kept on losing possession. They were losing every single 50-50 duel. They were losing the second balls. It was just the basics for Chelsea. I think the midfield was just not good enough from Chelsea and it just completely let them down. The reason why they lost that game, I think it was because Tuchel did not get the right balance. He's doing a similar what Lampard was doing, and Werner's acting more as a bloody winger again when he's not even a winger. I hope he's not watching this, Tuchel, because then he'll just take my advice. But to be honest, Werner is not a winger for me. With him in that role next to Mount, he's acting as a winger, and he's the one that's making those crosses into Abraham as well. Abraham could be a doubt going into this game as well because he's injured as well. He could be playing Werner up top anyway, so you never know. It depends what shape he goes with. But he's mainly found this system in Chelsea to go with the 3-4-2-1, and obviously James and Alonso, they're acting as wingers up and down there. But to me, there's no chemistry between Azpilicueta, Zuma and Rudiger. And the reason why is because Azpilicueta is not a centre-back, he's a right-back. So he's having to play James as a right-back, but he's got Azpilicueta more in a deeper role, playing as a centre-back, and he's not a centre-back, so he's always going to struggle in those moments in any game that he goes into. And I think with Chelsea now, and I spotted this as well, and I think, hopefully, if we get our shape right in this game, and if we're organised properly, we will beat this Chelsea team. And I think I'm going to first get onto it defensively. If Werner's going to be going up against Wan-Bissaka, so Wan-Bissaka has to be in his A game. And then if he plays Lindelof is going to be... Lindelof's going to have to track down Werner, close him down, and clear the ball away. And that's what Lindelof's going to have to do. And obviously, it's the same with Mount. So Mount's going to be targeting Maguire, and he's going to be targeting Shaw, whereas Werner's going to be targeting Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. But obviously they're going to try and expose our weakness, which is getting that low ball in, and then they'll try and get someone up top like Werner, like Abraham, like Giroud, to get in between the lines and to get that shot off, and then it'll be a goal for them. Whereas for us, I think we've got to do something similar. I think we've got to sort of have that quick movement, and Chelsea are going to be coming into this game. I think Chelsea are one of these teams now where they sort of, you know, we're under Tuchel now. They're a hard-working team. They press you, they close you down, and they don't really give you any space and time on the ball. But again, though, they gave a lot of space to Southampton. They didn't close them down. They didn't really press them too much. They were too open in the game as well, and that's why they drew that game. Whereas we're going to have to be on it mentally in this game. We have to go in the right mindset, the right mentality for this game. And I hope Ollie's watching this, and I hope Ollie plays, and I hope Ollie rests Bruno in the week, because then Bruno could easily give us a master. I think Bruno could have a masterclass in this game, and hopefully we'll try and give Chelsea what they deserve and give them their first loss under Tuchel. Ollie knows how to beat Tuchel. Ollie's beaten Tuchel twice at the Parc des Princes. He knows how to beat Tuchel. He knows his tactics, and Ollie's schooled Tuchel before, and he can do it again at Stamford Bridge. Ollie's won at Stamford Bridge before, and it's just, you'll get a smell of it, honestly. And what we need to do is I hope we can have the bright start, but I think we might start this game a little bit slow and gradually get into the game in the first half. And I think because we'll be playing on Thursday, and I hope it does change up the team Ollie as well. But at the same time, I think we'll probably start this game slow, but I think we need to gradually get into the game, be ruthless, go and close them down, don't give them any time or space on the ball, high intensity, high tempo, be ruthless, play with energy, play with intent, and you've got to get those crosses into the box. You're going to have to make those runs in from behind, and when we get these moments, these crucial moments in the game, you are going to have to take the chances, make the runs in from behind, get in between the lines, and you want to get in between Azpilicueta and Zuma. They hate it. Why? Because Azpilicueta is not a centre-back, he's a right-back, and it's having to have James and Alonso going as wingers, and they're having to come back as well. So the player's going to have to be quick, incisive, and we've got to try and get them on the counter-attack and get them on the break as well. And it has to be on the break, and try and get them on the run of play. And that's what they don't like, this Chelsea team. Getting into the goals now. First goal, Maguire runs past the ball to Rashford. Rashford runs, puts the ball through, picks it back up, cuts back inside and scores for 1-0. Second goal, Maguire passes the ball to Rashford. Rashford flicks the ball to Shaw. Shaw passed the ball back to Maguire. Maguire passed the ball to Rashford. Rashford passed the ball to Matic. Cuts back inside. Puts a low and hard cross into James. James shoots and scores for 2-1. Third goal, Bruno steps up and scores a nice composed penalty for 3-1. Getting to the stats now, possession for Man United, it was 71.6%. And for Newcastle, it was 28.4%. Goals for Man United, it was 3, and for Newcastle, it was 1. Total shots for Man United, it was 15, and for Newcastle, it was 10. Shots on target for Man United, it was 7, and for Newcastle, it was 6. Shot accuracy for Man United, it was 46.7%. And for Newcastle, it was 60%. Shots inside the box for Man United, it was 9. And for Newcastle, it was 3. Shots outside the box for Man United, it was 6. And for Newcastle, it was 7. Total passes for Man United, it was 692 passes. And for Newcastle, it was 270 passes. The pass accuracy for Man United, it was 86.7%. And for Newcastle, it was 68.9%. Getting into the substitutions now, Martial went off a green. We'll talk about Anthony's performance. Nigh on unanimous until the 59th minute, when he fashioned an opening and tested Darlow. Came off after 70 minutes, should never have started. James went off a matter, talk about Dan's performance, energetic throughout and preserved to score a well-taken 5th goal of the season. Vindicated Solskjaer's decision, retain him. Rashford went off a short tire, talk about Rashford's performance, scored with a direct run when beckoned inside by the naive Kraft and beat Carl Darlow at his near post. Won the contest, killing penalty. Next up, we've got Chelsea. Coming into this game against Chelsea now, we need to be on our A game. Defensively, offensively, attacking wise, we need the final third, we need the end product. And when we get these chances in the game and these big moments, we have to go and take those chances against Chelsea. It's going to be a tough game against Chelsea. I'm looking forward to this game. It's all about we have to turn up to this game, perform well for the full 90 minutes, give these bastards a game, and give these bastards to something to work with, because the last recent weeks they've not faced a good team, and the only good team that they faced was Southampton, and they dropped 2 points there. That'll feel like a loss for them, and hopefully Chelsea now could go on a bad run of form. They've got a few big games coming up now. They've got Atletico Madrid in the week, then they've got us, then they've got Liverpool, and then I think they've got Everton. They're going into some big run of games now where they need to turn up as well. And I think for us, we need to turn up, perform well, get the 3 points against Chelsea, go and stun them. I'll tell you now, Ollie knows how to beat Tuchel. He's done it twice when he was PSG's manager. He can do it again on Tuchel. It's his bitch, I'll tell you. He can beat Tuchel on the weekend. We're just going to tactically get it right. Defensively, we need to be a unit at the back. Don't make any stupid mistakes at the back. And we know we can get them on the counter-attack. We're going to be quick, incisive football and get them on the break. Hit them on the run of play as well. So far, Chelsea are scoring 1.6 goals per game. So far, Chelsea are conceding 1.0 goals per game. Chelsea have the second best defence in the league as well. Chelsea have won 12, drawn 7 and lost 6. They've lost at Liverpool 2-0, Everton 1-0, Wolves 2-1, Arsenal 3-1, Man City 3-1 and Leicester 2-0. And the last time they lost at home was to Man City, and that was back in January as well. Chelsea have lost 2 games at home this season. Chelsea have conceded 2 goals under Thomas Tuchel. Can you believe it as well? The last time Man United beat Chelsea was on Monday the 17th of February 2020, and it ended 2-0 to United, which was last season. The last time Man United lost to Chelsea was on Sunday the 5th of November 2017, and it ended 1-0 to Chelsea. Hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in a video in the next couple of days, and peace.